Now, in the previous video, we were seeing the various methods in which these styles, cascading style sheets can be implemented. The three ways in which CSS can be applied are inline CSS, internal or embedded CSS, and external CSS. Inline CSS we saw in the previous video that it can be implemented using the attribute. So we have the meta attribute which is style. So style equal to, this is given inside your tag itself. So that is why it is called as inline. So inline means giving it inside the tag. So we make use of the style attribute. So style equal to, and then I told you style is a meta attribute. So meta means attribute within attributes. So you have so many attributes. Here if you look at the example, color, font, style, text hyphen align, font size, all these things are attributes, and on the right hand side you see the values for these attributes: red, italic, center, 50px, pixels, all these things. And then you have another one which is called padding, top. So these are all the attributes and the values. So all these attributes are defined under another attribute, a bigger attribute. A meta means bigger. So which data, it is the information about the data. Meta means information, data about the data. So the style, the attribute contains so many attributes, and those attributes can take so many different values. Like for example, color can take different values: red, blue, green, yellow, white, cyan, black. There are so many values that color, and moreover you can also give RGB colors also. Colors in terms of red, green and blue. Some numbers also can be given. The next type of the next type in which CSS can be applied is internal CSS. So internal CSS has got a separate tag called style. So earlier we have seen the HTML consists of two tags. One is head and the other one is body. So under the head we have seen title tag, and this is one other tag that will come under the head. So you will have another tag which is called as a style tag. So you will have a style, open style and end style within the head, and then here you will have to specify the element name. Look at the syntax here. The syntax is slightly different. So you will have to say, suppose you want to apply, you are going to apply for the body, the styles for the full body, then you will have to give the name as body, the element name. Body is an element, and then H1, H2, H3, etc. headings, they are all elements. Paragraph P is an element. So we have seen what is an element in earlier videos. So you will have to give, suppose you want to give some style for this H2, you will have to give H2 here. The tag, the element name should be given here, followed by flower braces, and inside the flower braces you will have to give the attributes followed by the value. So body, background color colon lavender. So which means for the body, the background color will be applied, lavender color will be applied, and text align colon center. So if you run this, we will see what happens. It is not responding. Probably some. Now look at this, you will see that the full body color is lavender, and then all the text is center aligned. So whatever you have given here for the body, all the properties, the attributes and the values will be applied to the full body. So, and then here it is given for H2. For H2, for heading, the some other style is given. Font style is italic, font size is 30px, and then color a different color. So this is what I told you. This is the RGB color. So for giving, if you want to give directly the color name, you can give. There is a list of colors, acceptable colors, color names that is given. You can refer to the website w3schools.com, or even in the same website, that is Java T Point. You can search and you can get to know what are all the colors that are available. Okay, so color names, you can use either the color names like this, or you can use not for not every color, for every color the color name is not given. So if you want to use the RGB, you can also use the RGB code. So the RGB code is also available in these websites, you can refer them. Then, so for P, which means paragraph. So for paragraph, there is another attribute that is given, which is font size. So font size colon 20px. So for every paragraph, for if you have, see here, you will see that there are 3 paragraphs. So for all the 3 paragraphs, this particular for this font size 20 will apply. Okay, then this is one way of giving. The another way of giving is, you will have to directly give body. When you give body here, followed by flower braces, and then inside the flower braces, whatever attributes that you give, all the attributes are applicable only to body. Similarly, if you give H2 and any element name followed by flower braces, and inside the flower braces, if you give these attributes and values, so these attributes and values are applicable only to the element that is given outside. But suppose you want to give some general styles, you want to give some styles, and you want these styles to be, you define 3 separate styles, and then you want, if wherever you want to apply the style, you want to apply that style, then in that case what you can do is, you can define what is called a class name. So here blue is a class, red is a class, green is a class. So there, how do we differentiate between the element name and the, so when you give, these are all predefined element names, but there is no element called blue, there is no element called red. So before that blue, before giving the class name, it has to be preceded by a full stop, by a period. Okay, so you'll have to keep a dot blue, which means when you say dot, the browser will understand that whatever it's following is the name of the class. So now we are defining a class called blue, and then what are the styles, the attributes for this blue? There is only one attribute, which is called color colon blue. Then another class called red is defined, where the color is red, and then another class green is defined, where the color is green. It is not you can give any other, all these, like you can give font style, font size, any attribute can be given here. Okay, so now how do we, if you are going to use classes like this, how do we use these classes? So you will have to use this class, like look at the paragraph here. So P class equal to blue. Okay, so this you can even use this for H2. So if H2 if in the blue அப்படின்ற class குள்ள, you can say font style italic, font size 30px, and then say color colon blue, and then you can say in H2, you can say you can add an attribute to H2 and then say class equal to blue. Then what will happen, whatever attributes, style attributes that you have given inside the class blue, all those attributes will be applicable for the heading H2. Okay, so here it is style for H2 is defined separately as an element, but here for paragraph the font size is given. So look at this, the font size is given. Now let me give a bigger font size. You will see that the font has, so I can give the font size outside and define like this, and then I can give the color alone and the inside the class. So I can give both ways I can define my styles. So if you give a class, then the only thing is it has to be preceded by a period, and then when you, how do we use these class names? You will have to say paragraph tag, open the paragraph tag, and then say class equal to blue within quotes, okay, and then give the content of the paragraph and then end the paragraph. So like that you can give a class. So this is how you define class, and you define the various style attributes inside the tag called style. Now where is the style defined? The style tag is defined inside your head tag, okay, inside your HTML. So this is defining CSS as an internal file. Now what is external? External is whatever you have defined internally inside your style tag, you can now copy everything, the whole thing, in the body lerundu in the idu varaikkum dot green define pannirukku illaya. So whatever we have defined inside this style tag, you can cut this and open in your editor. You can paste this in a separate file and save it with an extension, let's say my style.css, and then you will not then have this style tag. So instead of the style tag, we will have one more tag which is called as link. So inside your head tag, we will no longer use the style tag. Instead, we will use another tag which is called as a link. Now we are going to now link this HTML file with the CSS file that we have already defined. So this CSS style.css. So what is the style.css? As I told you earlier, this is the whatever we have defined inside the style tag. இதைத்தான் இதை அப்படியே நம்ம காப்பி பண்ணி என்ன பண்ணலாம், இங்கே வந்து தனியாக ஒரு ஃபைல். So this is how the same content only is defined. So the same thing, you copy it, cut and then paste it in a different file and save that file as, here he is given in this example, the name given is style.css. So you can give style1, you can give any name, my style.css, anything, but the file should have an extension .css. Now, so we have now separated the HTML file and the style. Okay, so the first variation is give the style inside the tag itself. So that is called inline variation. The second one is internal. So internal is you use what is called a style tag. That style tag is defined inside your head, and inside style tag there are again two ways of giving it. What is that? One is you specify the element name followed by the attributes and the value inside the flower bases. So for each and every element specifically we can give some styles, or we can define some classes. We can give some class names, and then followed by that you can give all the attributes and the values. There are two ways of giving these styles inside the style tag. Now when you use if you are defining automatically, when you give the element level styles, then automatically those styles will be implemented when you run the HTML code in your browser. But if you are defining your styles inside a class, then you will have to specifically say which class are you using. You will have to use the attribute called class inside the element. So here we have defined three classes, blue, red and green, and here inside the paragraph we will have to say class equal to blue. Now this class can be used anywhere. It can be used for your H2 also. Okay, so not necessarily for P alone, for paragraph alone. It can be used, and if you are going to use it for the heading, you will have to say H2 space class equal to blue, class equal to red. Then you will see that this H2 will also be the styles that are given here. Openly you have given, those styles will also be applied, and the style that you have given inside the class, that also will be applied. This we have already seen. Okay, and now in the first two cases, the style is defined inside your HTML itself. The first one is it is defined inside your tag. In the second method, the style is given under a separate tag called style, which is defined inside your head tag in your HTML. But the third one is external. We don't have the style inside your HTML itself. We are now separating the styles inside and put all the styles into, because when you are when you are designing a website which is containing so many pages, then your styles, you may not be defining one or two styles. There will be so many content and there will be so many styles that you may have to define. So then your HTML file will become so cumbersome. It will become very huge and it will become cumbersome. So what we are going to do is separate the styles and put it inside a separate file called some style.css with an extension CSS, and then we will have to include that file. You will have to say that the this HTML, you will have to inform the browser that you are going to use the style sheet that you have defined and whose name is style.css. So how do we inform that to the browser? We will have to use a separate tag called link. So you will have to say link, and it has got three attributes. The first attribute is rel, what type of a so you are going to relate it to a style sheet. So rel is equal to style sheet, okay, and then type is equal to CS. What type of a document is it? It's a type text slash CSS. So இதெல்லாம் இது அப்படியே தான் கொடுக்கணும். And then href is equal to, href we have already seen. Href we have given it in the anchor tag where you give the URL here. Now here we are not giving the URL, instead we are giving the name of the CSS file. So and then close the link tag. So the link, this link will not have an ending tag, it will not have content also, it doesn't have the content, it doesn't have the ending tag also. So it is just the link tag, the starting tag, where you open the link tag and then you give three attributes. One is rel, where you say rel is equal to style sheet. You will have to give style sheet only, because with HTML here we are going to use only style sheet. So you will have to say rel is equal to style sheet within quotes. Then type, what type of a file is it? So type is equal to, within quotes you will have to say text slash CSS. And then finally you will have to say what is the name of that file. For that you will have to give the attribute href is equal to style.css within quotes, and the rest is all the same. So when you just run this, you will see that it will take the file from the, it will take the CSS file from the style.css, the styles that is defined under style.css, and then perform the same operation. Okay. So these are the three ways in which you can define the styles. Now one thing what I want all of you to do is learn what are all the various styles that are available and what are all the styles values that can be given to those attributes. So here there is a list. So commonly used CSS properties are background color. So property name is background hyphen color, and how do we use this? Background hyphen color colon red. You can give any, what are these values? என்னென்ன values அதை எடுத்துக்கலாம் அப்படிங்கிறதையும் you will have to note it down. Okay, and then color. Color is font color, text color. So color colon light green. Then padding. Padding is space between the content and the border. We have already seen padding. So padding style was given to the H1 heading tag. We have already seen an example for that. So padding is, will give the space, it will determine the space between the border and in general border and thing. We have also given padding hyphen top. When you say padding hyphen top, it means it will give the space on the top. You can also give padding hyphen left hyphen right, padding hyphen bottom. So for all the four sides you can give spacing. Then margin. Margin is margin left. So margin 30 px will give space around an element, and then margin margin hyphen left. So you can and then font family. Font family, font family is you can give different font families like sans serif, cursive, then Times New Roman, Arial. There are so many font families which are available. Okay, font size you already know, so font hyphen size, and the value should be given followed by pixel. Px the unit, just like your millimeters, centimeters, kilometers, meters and the madri. Px is a unit, and then here you will have to say 50 units, 50 px அப்படின்னு சொல்லணும் font size. Then text align. Text align is whether you want to align the text, the position of the text, whether it has to be aligned to the left or whether it is to be aligned to the right or center or justified. So these are some of the style properties that normally we will be using. Okay, there are so many properties which are applicable for table also, and table and other formatting styles. So you get to know. I want all of you to go through these two websites, w3schools.com or javatpoint.com. So www.javatpoint.com. So go through any one of these two websites and find out what are all the properties, the style properties that are available, and what are all the values that these style properties can take. I want all of you to make a list of it. This will be your one-on-one assignment which is given to you. So I want all of you to make a note of it in a paper and submit it. Okay, thank you.